On day 3 of Unit 2, we're starting to do quite a bit of graphing. And we're using table of values and plotting our points on a Cartesian plane. So I'd like to introduce you to something called Desmos, which can be very handy. And in fact, I'd like you to use it for one of the questions, one of the homework questions today. So one of the homework questions involves plotting a table of values for the equation y equals 1/2 x plus 2. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And I'd like to go to this site that's linked on our class page and recreate this equation. So the equation was y equals 1/2 x plus 2. And right away, we can see that the graph shows up over here. I'm going to make a few changes to this. One of the things we're going to do is I'm just going to go up and I'm going to make sure that the step of the graph is 1. We'll clear that off. Now we have a nice even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rather than skipping 2, 4, 6 or anything like that. It's just a little bit easier to read. So that involves just going to the wrench up here and putting in a step of 1. Okay, so over here we have our equation. And in the homework question, we've been asked to build a table of values. So I am going to just go up to this edit thing and create table. And now what it's done for us, it's actually quite handy, is that it's built up a table of values based on this equation, y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Now in our homework assignment, in fact, I'm going to just start by getting rid of these and show you how this kind of does the work for us. In the homework assignment, we're presented with the following x values. -2, and you'll see that as soon as I put in the x value, it automatically calculates what the y value is based on the equation 1/2 x plus 2. The other x values given are 0, 2, and 4. And Desmos has automatically and very conveniently calculated these for us. Over here on the graph, the points for -2, 1, 0, 2, 2, 3, and 4, 4 have been plotted. And if we just put our cursor over these, we can actually have the labels show up just like this. Okay. Now we have a nicely labeled graph, and we've got our table of values. So for a homework assignment, if I was going to ask you to hand this in, I would ask you to select this area. I'm going to do that on my computer right now, and you'll do this on your Chromebook. So I'm just going to select this area. I'm going to make sure that I get all of the points, and I'm going to make sure that I got the origin as well. Now I can go into a Google document. I give this a title. I'll call this Unit 2, Day 3 Homework. And I can just paste that graph in. I could take this and I could resize it. Something like that. I could also go back to Desmos and I could do the same with our table of values. I could just make a little screen capture of this. Go back to our doc. Paste this in. Give this a title. These things are always easier to read if you just give it some sort of title. Homework assignment. Unit 2, day 3. And this just happened to be question E from that assignment. So something like that would just be a slightly clearer way of handing this in. And again, you can resize these. And once you have it in a Google Doc like this, then you can just hand it into Google Classroom. And we won't have to worry about taking pictures or scanning anything. So this is just a useful way for us to be able to hand in graphs. So once again, the program is called Desmos. And we'll be using it a fair bit. And I hope you will find it as useful as I do.